Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Jenkins. The program is Black America, and today we're talking about women and sports. With us to give us some idea of how much progress we've made, a woman who probably knows more than anyone else, Wendy Hilliard was the first Black woman to represent the U.S. on the rhythmic gymnastics national team. Stayed there for 9 years. She was inducted into the Gymnastics Hall of Fame in 2008 and is very much involved in the whole concept of women and girls in sports, and in every aspect of it, I might add. You're, a Renaissance woman when it comes to women in sports.
Well, thank you, and I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, it's just great. 9 years. Now, that has to be a record?
It's close. It may still be a record, but it's a long time to be on the national team. Indeed.
And you started when you were?
Well, I started gymnastics at 12.
At 12?
Yeah, and so it was my passion. It really was my passion. And rhythmic gymnastics was new in the United States, and so it gave me the opportunity to travel the world and reach the highest level of sports. So it was great.
I have a feeling you mentioned travel the world before you say reach the highest level of sports, So it was a life-broadening experience.
Definitely.
So tell us, I ask every guest, where do you place yourself in Black America? Where were you born? Did you grow up? The major influences that made you a rock star in the sports arena.
Wow. Oh, that's a heavy question. Well, I am born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, a proud product of the Detroit Recreation Department. That's where I learned my gymnastics. And so I really feel that it's the story, I think about it now because we're going back to expand our gymnastics programs there, so I go back to Detroit a lot. My mom still has her house there. But it was really strong because it was the 70s. It was a very interesting time in Detroit. So my influence was everybody in the city. I grew up, I had a Black mayor most of the time that I was there. All of the people that had, come that great migration from the South, they had this opportunity kind of after the riots to really create Detroit. And I'm realizing now how important that was to my background, that it gave me this opportunity to do these very interesting things. I am the head of the recreation department, hired 4 coaches from the former Soviet Union to teach gymnastics there. And then all of a sudden, boom, we had this team. And without, though, my family. My parents, Stratford and Gwendolyn Hilliard. My father's passed, but my mom is 92. And she was so incredibly important to really fighting the good fight because it wasn't always easy for me.
But they were not athletes themselves, but they saw it as a path for you.
They did, and they supported it. And you have to wonder, my mother always said, her friend said, Wendy, you're letting your child go to California with this Ukrainian woman and travel to Bulgaria. And so she had faith in my coaches and in me. I have a very high achieving family. I didn't really realize that till later, but all of these influences made a difference in my life.
Well, we've got a clip of you when you were doing we asked you to do it on the way into the studio today. You said maybe on the way out.
Okay.
But let's take a look at the clip of Wendy Hilliard.
Unique sport where the apparatus is actually used to create art, whether it's through lines, color, or just the actual performance. Wendy is fantastic at reaching out to the audience and involving them in what she's doing.
And there she is in all of her glory. Can you still do that?
A lot of it I can still do, but I'm not training 6 hours a day anymore, so it's not that easy.
And that's what it is, 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, 6 or 7? How?
Not 7 days a week, but we use 5 or 6 days a week and maybe do a half day on a Saturday. But it's very intense training.
Right, so now you've coached, you were the first Black head of the Women's Sports Foundation, and you've created the Wendy Hilliard Foundation, and you now have given this kind of opportunity to some 15,000 kids. Tell us a little bit about that progression.
Well, it's very interesting. So as I mentioned, I'm from Detroit, and it was the recreation department. So I grew up in a community gymnastics program. When I moved to New York, and I was doing all these really wonderful, exciting things, after I coached my gymnasts to the Olympics, I said, I can maybe influence 10 or 15 kids, but I also looked up 10 years later, there weren't any other blacks on the national team per se. So I started my gymnastics foundation, and through a lot of hard work and really trusted in God to keep us going, because we've been going for 20 years, we've been able to provide free and low-cost gymnastics to over 15,000 kids, and it's a wide range. It's, beginners, we have kids that we've put on the national team. We really look at it as the opportunity to provide a sport for kids that they wouldn't normally get in New York City or be able to afford, most importantly. But also the key is that we always do great gymnastics. My coaches were serious. Zina and Vladimir Mironov taught me well. And so to my staff, who I have to thank because they're with the kids day in and day out, we really provide high-level training, quality, safe gymnastics, and then we also support it with nutrition and educational training.
So, which is terrific. You're giving them a broad base. Now, we've got two young women now who are taking the gymnastics world by storm, Simone Biles and Gabby Douglas. We have I want you to, as you're in your coach position, tell us what you see. They're both going to the Olympics, we do believe.
Well, they'll have the trials in July.
Right. The trials are in July, so but Rio is on the horizon. Let's take a look first at Simone Biles, because she is the two-time, or is it three-time?
Three-time, yes.
I mean, I can't even keep up with her. She is just amazing. Let's take a look at a clip of her doing her thing. So incredible. And she started when she was 6, I believe, right? And she's from Texas?
She trains in Texas now, and she's just a phenomenal gymnast. Besides her quality, she performs with such joy and confidence.
So that's really that confidence level. Probably, where do you think that comes from? You think that's innate, or you think that's part of the training?
That's such a good question. So the confidence comes from training. Let's be clear. That's why we practice so many hours a day. Your body's got to be able to do it. Because gymnastics, especially at the high level, is mental, right? Everybody's trained the same amount of time, but you have to perform in that moment. There are no do-overs. So the mental training is very important. So her confidence comes from being very consistent. Now she has all these world championships behind her belt, and she knows that if she does her routines to the best of her ability, she'll be at the top.
Wow. And now, of course, the famous Gabby Douglas, who became such a tremendous role model because she was, after you, so to speak, then Gabby was the next real big star.
Well, I would say you got to put Dominique Dawes up in there.
Oh, that's
right.
right.
Dominique Dawes, Olympic gold medalist.
Okay,
definitely.
But now Gabby's come back. That doesn't happen very often at all, right?
It's true. It's very, very difficult in women's gymnastics.
So she's trying again after 2012 when she was part of that winning team. Let's take a look at her new routine as she is coming back.
The thing that's so amazing about her and why she won the Olympics in 2012 is because she can focus like no other person. I mean, Simone will be bubbly and full of joy. Gabby's going to be like, I got a job to do, and it's to stay on this beam. It's really quite amazing. Her level of sport to come back is quite the story. And
yeah, so it's so interesting to watch. The other thing about Gabby, and she wrote a book and she talked about it a lot, she faced a lot of criticism. This whole body image thing, if she didn't quite fit the gymnastic model of what we would expect, probably blonde, skinny, whatever that is. Talk a little bit about that as a black child. They were talking about children here who were competing.
Well, I know the story too well. So the thing about gymnastics is it's a performance sport. But in rhythmic gymnastics, my sport, so one year we were going for the World Championships. We have a group routine, which is a synchronized routine. And the idea is everybody moves alike and you do the routine together. Well, I went to the Olympic Training Center and trained. I'd been on the national team already. And they didn't pick me for the team that year. I mean, and I was one of the top in the country. And all of my gymnasts, everyone's like, why was Wendy on the team? And so I went up to the coach, who was coach there, who was, she said, Vindy, what are we going to do with you? You stand out too much. And I was like, what do you want me to do? Of course I do.
Right.
But this is where my Detroit training came in because, I was devastated. But I called my mom and dad on the phone. I was like, oh, they're not going to put me on the team. They're like, oh, baby, let's write to USA Gymnastics and send them a telefax, right? That's how long ago.
Telefax.
But, the thing is, my parents, and I was amazed. This is the early 80s. I'm like, you're telling me I can't do this because I'm black? Do you know what my history is? My parents went through just to get an education or to vote. And so USA Gymnastics changed it. And that's really one of the reasons I became such an advocate, because you're going to tell me I have all of the talent in the world, but because of my skin color, I can't do this. It really was life-changing, and that you had to fight. So what Gabby went through, Simone went through the same thing. She's winning world championships, and internationally, gymnasts are saying, well, if I was darker too, I'd win. I'm like, no, if you did gymnastics like Simone, you'd win.
Right.
So it's a hard barrier still.
Well, let's talk about Serena Williams, for example, who also, as an adult, extraordinary performer, an athlete, and who also faced, hate mail, true criticism in the, quote, established media, as well as just ordinary people who said she didn't fit the part. Let's take a look at Serena and her body. What's your reaction to?
Like, fabulous. I'm like, that is what it takes to be the champion that she is. Let's be clear. It is, she has all this training. She grew up with her sister, who was a great athlete, and trained by her father. But when you look at that, that's what sport, if you're hitting a tennis ball that hard and that precise, this is what it takes. And it should be celebrated. This is her job, and she's not trying to be anything else. This is what tennis does, and the reason she has this great facility in mind makes her the champion that she is. It's amazing.
Yeah, one of the other aspects, since we're talking about the Williams sisters, is this equal pay aspect of what the women get paid, what the men get paid, doing exactly the same thing. And Venus Williams fought for that at Wimbledon. Let's listen to a clip of her now talking about equal pay and why everybody should be concerned about it.
There's always going to be people who don't think that another person should be paid equally. And I think it's important for men to get on board. It's important for men to get on board because these same men have daughters, they have wives, they have sisters, and they should want those same opportunities for those people in their family. They have women in their lives that are important to them. And they need to realize that when they say these sorts of things, that they're also saying these things about the women in their lives, and they have to really come to grips with what that means.
Exactly. And yet, even though Title IX has been in force since 1972, the college sports, all of that, there's still a discrepancy between the women and the men. Better, but how do you assess it, having watched it so closely since 1972, the difference?
Well, it's definitely made a huge difference, and it's not there yet, is what the thing is. So I was president of the Women's Sports Foundation 95, 96. In the 96 Olympics, we had all these great teams. The women's basketball won, the women's soccer, the women's softball. It's made a profound difference, especially in collegiate sports and opportunities. But like Venus was saying, there's a reason that if you put out the effort and you're doing the same thing, you should be paid the same amount. It's not very difficult. It's not rocket science. You just have to have equality. And so Title IX is hard fought. There's still a long way to go. It's not just sports. It's everything. And no one would assume in your math class you don't want the girls to get the same opportunities as boys. Well, it goes over to sports. So it's very important, and it still has ways to go, but it's made a huge difference.
Yeah. Mary Campbell Schmidt or Schmidt Campbell, I actually know her, and I always confuse it. I know her husband too. she's now the president of Spelman College, and she is using Title IX. There was a rape incident, an alleged rape incident on the campus, and she talks about Title IX as improving that to get to the heart of what happened in this case and of providing safety for girls on campus. Do you perceive it as that wide a role as well?
It is a wide role. I mean, the thing is it caught on with sports, but is really equal opportunity to those institutions receiving federal funding. And that's anything having to do with educational opportunities. And that's wide, if you're talking especially about a university. The safety, opportunity to academics, opportunity to athletics. It just looked very bad on the athletic side because the men had all these scholarships and the women's did not. But sure, it should be applied across the board. Equality is equality, and you have to have it go across the board.
So Forbes magazine did its list of the top 25 most powerful women in sports, and of course we think you should be on that. But I was impressed that there are 5 black women who are on this list, and I want to get your reaction about each of them. Michelle Roberts, who's the executive director of the National Basketball Players Association. So she's a lawyer and a tough negotiator too. Tell us what you know about her.
Well, it's such an incredible role. I mean, to be really the head of the Players Association, I don't think people understand how strong that is and how much power that they really rule. And her position, like you said, a tough negotiator, that is a super tough job. And I just commend that she's at the top level, and it's great to have her there.
So Venus and Serena Williams, number 4 on the list. Michelle Roberts was number 2. Venus and Serena Williams, number 4. They have 117 Grand Slams between them, $150 million combined earnings. Pretty good for a couple of kids from
Compton,
California.
It's an amazing story, and as we've been discussing, it's not just their great tennis abilities and the championships and the length that Serena has been doing this, right? She's been a champion for so long, along with Venus, but the fact that they speak up. I mean, it is not easy when you're an athlete to speak up on these issues, and you've got to give it, and Serena's had to do it, and Venus has been so eloquent that along with their tennis, I really admire their advocacy.
So number 13 on this list was a surprise to me. It's Condoleezza Rice, who's now the college football playoff. She's on that committee. Has always been a football fan, and some had said she should be, the head of whatever you call that, the league. You can tell I'm not a sports woman, but at any rate, Condoleezza Rice, yeah.
I am not surprised. I've heard her speak many times, and she did gymnastics in college, which I found out recently. She, of course, is so skilled worldwide, but she understands Title IX. She's been a big advocate, so she always brings that into conversation. And she she was a figure skater before she was a gymnast, and now she's really into football. So she has this great sports background, so I'm not surprised to see her on the list.
Number 14, right behind Condoleezza, is Sheila Johnson, of course, of the BET. Sheila was one of our first black billionaires. She's co-owner of the Washington Mystics, the Wizards, and the Capitals.
Wow.
Incredible.
Very incredible. I mean, just to be an owner of a team is so amazing, but she's really just taken it from, the media end to sports on such a high level that she's a role model, because you want to be part of sports, but owning sports is really where you want to be as well.
Owning it, right. Okay, and the last one is Katrina Adams, who's the CEO of the U.S. Tennis Association. You know her.
I do. Katrina, super rock star. We are so proud. This is the first time they've had a former athlete be head of the USTA, and she is just doing amazing things. For one, all of the athletes love it that she's there. For two, we're in the same, where I do gymnastics at the Harlem Children's Zone. Her office is there with the Harlem Junior Tennis and Education Program, and it's very funny because she's so busy. She's always around the world. She sent me a really great text where a picture with Nadia Comaneci. She was like at the French Open. She says, Nadia says, hi, Wendy. I was like, go Katrina. But she's doing a phenomenal job.
Nadia says so.
It's nice, but we're really proud of her, and she's doing an exceptional job.
That's great. So now you say that ownership is where you want to be. What about the ownership of the women's teams, for instance, in basketball, that are having a really, really tough time? And you've got headlines like, why do fans ignore women's sports, when it gets to the professional level. What's in operation there? Do you think that the attendance is down? I know personally that some owners are trying to sell their teams and can't find buyers for them.
You have to go history. The NBA's been around 4 times, 5 times longer than the WNBA. Things take time to catch on, and then it's a combination of giving things a chance. I mean, the NBA wasn't that popular in the 1940s and 50s. People weren't like running to do it. Media has a lot to do with it. I think that, Americans have to, especially Americans, because women's basketball is extremely popular in Asia and in Europe. But I think it needs to give time, because you have to have a generation of people that are used to it. Giving it even 10 or 20 years is really not enough time to solidify it. NFL's been along for a long time. All these TV sports, you have to remember, they're entertainment. Let's be clear. It is sports, but it's also entertainment. So you have to find your audience and sustain your audience. And there's some fabulous women basketball players out there. And so I think they have to give it time. And it's definitely a business, but it's going to come around, and it deserves the support.
Now, you've done everything. You've coached, you've judged, although it's not your favorite thing.
Right. Not at all.
But you've also been a broadcaster, and I was reading some articles about the hate mail or the hate in social media against women sportscasters or women commenting on sports at all. Can you talk a little bit about that? What is it that fans, again, we're assuming mostly males, but who knows, hate women when they talk about sports?
Because they want to do it. It's not
There's
really
the short answer.
That is true. They're not there doing it, and it's just how society is overall. When you don't have someone that's been around it or you're used to seeing, the women broadcasters out there are working really hard. They're doing their job. They wouldn't be in this position if they weren't very good. The thing about social media is that everybody's a critic, and people anonymously can state what they're feeling, and so that makes it blows it up a lot more. But it's like anything else. It's like blacks in America. When you have the first black out there doing it, why are they doing this? It's having the first woman do something. It's just that people are not used to it, and you got to get on board, because we are here and it's going to happen, so get used to it.
And do you find that this latest crop of broadcasters, are they actually in there and succeeding the way the others? You have favorites who do it really well?
And to be true, sports is still controlled a lot by males, and so any of the women up there have had to fight like gangbusters to get there. I mean, historically, Leslie Visser, Donna DeVerona, those people that really started sports 20, 30 years ago, that really set the way. There's so many more outlets now. Remember, you used to have 3 networks, and now you've got cable. So there are more opportunities for women to do sports. And, I just say go at it. It's Jessica Mendoza, I have to say. So she's also president of the Women's Sports Foundation, and she's commentating for baseball. Rock star, and people loved it because, she was a great Olympic championship. She's married to a baseball player, but that's not it. Her commentary is being respected by people. So those that came before set the stage for others to come forward, and it's going to keep getting bigger.
So what do you say to the young women who want to be athletes? Because there's still a bit of sexism involved in that in school and elsewhere, and peer pressure and whatever. What do you say to young girls who really want to be true athletes and want to pursue that as a career?
You have to. You really do have to. I think it's very important, when you talk about the health of America, and you talk about especially the health of Black America, sports is something that you should do because it's a background. It's part of education. You have to know your body. The other thing that sports does, that it does for everyone, is it develops leadership skills. It develops confidence. I mean, to go out there and to do what you're doing in sport, you have to follow it. There's no reason not to. It's not something you're going to be able to do all your life. It's definitely a young person's activity, but and this is why I do the things I do for my foundation. I am definitely creating athletes, but especially for my female athletes, I'm creating some warriors up in here, because you have to be able to know how to negotiate.
Right.
You have to be able to stand up for yourself. Right. And you have to know what playing fair is. Sports is kind of an area where you have to learn how to lose. There's a big difference when I hire people if they've been athletes or not. I can tell, and I can argue with them, no problem, because they're not emotional about it, let's put it that way. But I would say that sports is something that all youth should participate in. Just like you got to go to school, you got to learn
You
sports.
got to do the sports. We'll talk about careers. I loved reading about you designing these sports facilities. You know, so you're an architect as well. Yeah,
Well,
you're an
I'm
athlete. You're an athlete who knows what needs to be there. But you've got this 15,000 square foot place that you designed. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, it's so exciting. Aviator Sports Recreation, right after the Olympic bid. So I was head of sports for the Olympic bid. So I worked with a lot of architects and planners. So I had a good 6 years of training going forward. But the opportunity is out at Floyd Bennett Field, these decommissioned airplane hangars were turned into sports facilities. And it was such an opportunity for me to take a gymnastics center that was raw and to make it the best that I could. And I had to design the rock climbing wall. But it's just a beautiful facility that's still going well, and it's very light. And so, you know, though they don't come along, especially in New York, because space is so tough.
Sure.
The opportunity to do that, to schedule it, to get it going, is exciting. It's still going strong, but I had to come back to Harlem, to come back to my people, to do my gymnastics there.
To do your gymnastics, right? I always ask every guest as we're closing, and could talk with you forever because you've done everything. It's so interesting, you know, that this is the perfected athlete's life who goes on to do everything. So thank you for doing that. But I ask you to finish the sentence. The power, the strength of Black America lies in. Where do you think that is?
It lies in opportunity. It does lie in opportunity. I felt through my career that because I had this opportunity to become a great gymnast, it led on to so many other things. The reason why I provide it through my foundation is because, you know, sports, there's a variety of sports. The Olympics are coming up soon. You know, all of my kids are going to be, you know, showing their stuff. June 4th, we do our gala. So all the kids, the beginners through my high-level kids, all get to show their things. But it's the opportunity that also parents want for their children. If their children wants to do gymnastics, I can provide that for them. But what happens is that you get this diversity of talent in different sports, and if people just have the chance to shine, that's what opportunity does, and you can become your best self.
Okay, that's terrific. Wendy Hilliard, thank you so much for being with us here today and for everything you've done in sports and for the kids and competitors. We really appreciate it. Hope to see you again here soon.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Go design another climbing wall for us.
Okay.
And thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Carol Jenkins. The program is Black America, and we'll see you the next time.